Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the Fabienne Show. I am so happy to have you here. Today, I want to talk about something that's super close to my heart and has been a guiding principle in my life without me even realizing it. And it's been in my life for decades. And I want to talk about readiness paralysis and how it affects us as women in business, women in life, women in love, women in all aspects of this human experience. And I want to start by sharing a story with you of, this was probably in my late 20s. And Allison and I had been roommates in college. And, 10 years later, she invited me to be a bridesmaid in her wedding to my great friend Caesar. And the morning of the wedding, she gave all of her bridesmaids a little gift. And everyone had a gift that was meaningful from Allison to that person. And when I opened my gift, I saw this little necklace. And when I looked closer, I saw that there was some Sanskrit writing on the front. And I was like, okay, I wonder what this is. And I flipped it to the back. And in block letters, it said, fearless. And I still have the necklace today. But I remember looking up from the box and feeling very touched, but saying to Allison, what is this? What is the meaning of this? And she said, it says fearless. I said, I know, but I'm not fearless. And she said, oh, yes, you are. Fabienne, you just have a way of going after the thing that you want. And it seems like you don't wait to be ready. You go for it with no fear. And I just remember standing there with the empty box in one hand and the fearless Sanskrit necklace in the other. And it had never hit me that I was fearless because, of course, I experienced fear like anybody else. But this idea of being ready to feel equipped seemed to not be as paralyzing for me as it was for others. And fast forward a few decades later, I realize how many times in my life I have decided to do something big and bold, whether it's to quit my corporate job in advertising and open up my own nutrition practice out of my teeny tiny apartment on 38th and Lexington in New York City. Just so afraid, but I did it anyway. Or if it was changing that business and moving from nutrition to business coaching and thinking, oh my goodness, what will people think? Will they think that I can't seem to make up my mind about what I want to do? Or to, so many different things over the years, and eventually moving to France when everybody said, but you have a great life in Connecticut. You have it all. And every time I experienced fear. And every time I could have said to myself, I'm not ready yet. The circumstances are not all in place, but I did it anyway. And the reason I bring this up and the reason we're talking about it in today's episode is that I have been so fortunate to work with literally thousands and thousands of women in my business coaching practice in the last 25 years. And I will tell you, this fear of not being ready, this waiting until the timing is perfect, waiting until all the ducks are in a row is what seems to hold so many women back. We've talked about perfection paralysis here on the Fabienne Show. We've hinted at analysis paralysis, but I'm going to call this readiness paralysis. And it's this idea that you have to get ready to think about getting ready to make that big move, but not doing it until everything is handled. And somehow you're waiting for a guarantee that it will work. Waiting until you have all of the resources, all of the confidence, and that the fear is gone. But here's what I want you to know. There is no such thing as the perfect time to do that big, bold thing that you want to do. You will never feel fully ready. And if you keep waiting for that magical moment where all the stars line up, you may end up waiting your entire life. And that would be such a shame because there is so much potential within you, potential for greatness. You have so many bold moves that you could be making in your business, in your life, following your dreams, fulfilling your life's purpose, being the fullest expression of who you really are. All of those things want to happen. It's like your soul is whispering, go for it, go for it. But this readiness paralysis keeps getting in the way. So what is readiness paralysis? Well, let's start with the truth. Readiness paralysis is a really sneaky thing. It feels like the responsible thing to do. It feels like you're being smart by waiting until everything is lined up just right. But in reality, it's fear in disguise. So what does it show up like? It shows up like, well, I'll invest in this thing or this program or this team member once I make more money. I'll start whatever it is that you want to start once I figure out all the steps. I'll launch this program or write that new book once I feel more confident. I'll scale my business once my team is perfect. Or I'll start my family once my business is under control. Does this sound familiar at all? You see, this type of mindset, waiting for everything to be perfect, is what is causing the delay in your life. It creates stuckness. And most importantly, it creates the illusion of preparation, like you're doing the right thing by preparing while keeping you away from your transformation. It's sneaky because it makes you feel like you're actually in motion where you're not at all. And here's what I discovered a long time ago. You were never meant to be ready. You're meant to say yes. One of the most spiritual lessons I ever learned in my business was when my friend Carolyn, who I used to be in a mastermind with, called me one day and she said, Fabienne, I'm going to send you a gift. Please give me your address. And I gave her my address. And a few days later, I received in the mail a DVD of the movie, The Moses Code. The movie was fantastic. I remember watching it on my monitor in my office. And if I remember correctly, chapter 5 in the DVD is when Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith talks about feeling qualified to do that next big thing. And the phrase he used in the movie was, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called who say yes. And I remember hearing that and just sobbing at my desk. I just sobbed and cried, and something shifted within me because here I was at a juncture in my business where I really wanted to get out of the one-to-one business model where I was this business coach and you get 30 minutes a week and you get 30 minutes a week. And I couldn't get past the one-on-one hours for dollars model. And I deeply wanted to be able to take my work to so many more people per year, but I couldn't because I just didn't feel good enough, qualified enough. I didn't feel like I knew enough. I just wasn't prepared enough to do it. And I sat there at my computer and I was thinking, so I'm waiting to get the how before I commit. And what this movie is telling me, and it's something that really resonates to the point where I'm brought to tears, is that I have to commit first, and then the resources will come to me, and then the how will come to me, and then I will feel qualified because I will get qualified by God or by the universe or my higher self or a divine power. And that changed everything for me. And one of the things I share very often with the members of Bold Heart is that when presented with this big move that you want to make in your business or in your life, most people are looking for the how to show up as reassurance that they're not going to make a mistake. But if you are at all spiritual like I am, you will understand that in the grander scheme of things, The divine is looking for your full commitment before showing you the how, which is the opposite of how most humans operate. So we're looking for certainty before we commit, but the divine is looking for your commitment before all of the resources will show up. I want to invite you to watch the Moses Code. I believe that the full movie can be watched on YouTube. Just look it up, full movie, the Moses Code. And I hope this will change you like it changed me. You see, I've learned since then, dozens and dozens of times later, that when you commit, when you take the first step, that is when the universe rearranges itself to meet you. And while I don't always say the word God, and maybe you prefer universe or the all that is or source energy, whatever it is, in some instances, you have to meet God halfway. Because the universe doesn't show up first. It waits for your decision. It waits for your yes. Think of a parked car. Have you ever gotten into a parked car and tried to steer the wheel? Try it this afternoon or next time you're in a car. You will find that unless the car is in motion, it's almost impossible to turn the wheel. And that goes for everything in your business or your life. You need to get in motion and aligned with where you want to go and start moving in that direction before all of the other resources show up. So if you've been waiting for the evidence, for the certainty, for the reassurance that you're not going to fail, for the full plan before you start, that's not how it works. Life is like a scavenger hunt. You don't see the whole thing. The next step will only be revealed after you say yes. One of my favorite quotes in the world is by William H. Murray of the Scottish Himalayan Exposition. And it talks about the fact that boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And of course, you know that I love the word boldness. I named my business Bold Heart for a reason. And in this quote, by William H. Murray, there is so much richness. In fact, I'll put it in the show notes for you. It has guided me through almost every leap that I've taken. And it basically says, until one is committed, there will be hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. But the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. And the first time I heard this quote, I was like, what is providence? That's the divine. That's providence means you start getting the resources. And the quote continues by saying, all sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred unless they started moving forward. And so whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And this isn't just poetry or a nice quote. It's the truth as I now understand it about how creation works. And creation for you may be that you want to scale your business dramatically. Maybe you want to double your income. Maybe you want to stop overworking and start taking 10 or 14 weeks of vacation a year. But that's going to require some bold moves. Maybe you want to write that book. Maybe you want to move across the country or to another country like I did. Maybe you've been thinking, I want to scale my business. I want to get some support, whether in mentorship or that team member that feels like it's a little bit out of your comfort zone financially. Don't wait to be ready. Commit and take the first step. When you commit boldly, I've discovered that the resources and the people and the opportunities and that clarity and that book that you need and that synchronicity, they all begin to appear. And it's as if the universe is rearranging itself for your best interest right now. In fact, there's a quote, I'm giving you another quote today, a quote that I'm known for with all of the people who choose to work with me. And it's called the positive expectation quote. And it goes like this. I am positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. The universe is rearranging itself for my best interest right now. And as you make that bold move, say this to yourself. I am positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. I know that the universe is rearranging itself for my best interest right now. And what happens when you make that bold move and you stay in faith and you stay in positive expectation is that you move through things that other people stay blocked with for years. That big thing will not happen unless you're willing to make that bold move. And so you don't wait to feel qualified. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait for all of the circumstances to be perfect. You understand that when you are being called, you say yes. When the opportunity for you to achieve the thing you dream about is right in front of you, you don't overthink it. You go for it. You say yes. And most women that I speak with before we work together, they're waiting to know the how before they can commit. And this is where, if you're at all open to spirituality, instead of waiting to know exactly how things will unfold or how the money will come or how the team will be built, just say yes to the opportunity. I know some people in your life will say that's risky or that's not realistic. But in my experience, and in watching all of these thousands of women that I've gotten to work with, this is how it works. You won't get the how until you commit. That's the law of creation. So how do you move through readiness paralysis? What do you do when you're caught in that loop of, I'm not ready yet, or I'm waiting for the perfect time? Well, here's how you break through. Number one, acknowledge the fear. Notice that when I received that necklace, I didn't say, I have no fear. I am not fearless, but I acknowledge the fear. Name it. Recognize that your mind is trying to protect you. It's the ego trying to keep you within your comfort zone. It's afraid of failure or judgment or being seen. But fear doesn't get to be the driver of your life. You are the driver of your life. Number two, choose faith over fear. Choose to believe that your yes is enough for the all that is, the divine, to come in and help you. This is where spirituality in business has a place, in my book at least. It's about choosing faith over fear, because let me tell you this, to get to whatever next level you want to get to in your business or in the quality of your life, you're going to have to make some bold moves. And with bold moves comes this sense of fear. It will happen every time, I assure you. But when you can believe in your yes, and when you believe that you are not alone, and you can stay in faith that you are being taken care of, the resources and the confidence and the clarity, they will arrive when you begin. Just have faith. Number three, take one imperfect action. We were just talking about this the other day with the members of Bold Heart. When I asked them how they created such incredible results in just one quarter, so many of them said, you know what, Fabienne, I just took imperfect action. I just followed what you said and took imperfect action, and I created results I just didn't even believe were possible. So you're not taking imperfect action on the whole plan. Just one step, just the next small step, the next bold step. And maybe that's hiring that person, or at least reaching out to that person, applying for that program, booking the call, raising your hand, hitting the publish button. Whatever your version of begin it is, do that. And then number four, sit back and watch what unfolds. The moment you move, you will be amazed at what starts aligning. That client shows up, the solution appears, the opportunity that you could not have planned for shows up, but none of that will happen if you don't make a move. So in a way, readiness paralysis is perfection paralysis. You have to stop waiting for things to be perfect. Because let's talk about what becomes possible when you say yes. When you break free of readiness paralysis, here's what happens. You move faster than you ever thought possible. You feel braver, freer, more alive in your life. You get support, divine and otherwise, that you didn't even know was available to you. You build momentum, and momentum creates miracles. In the end, you stop being stuck and you start creating your dream life, your dream income, your dream business, your dream legacy, your dream impact. So my message to you today is that your next level is waiting for you. If you feel stuck, you're not stuck. You've been invited. You've been called. There are opportunities right under your nose that you're just waiting to be ready for, waiting to be able to afford, waiting to have the confidence or the reassurance that you can do this. But the reassurance train isn't coming. The perfection train isn't coming. The readiness train isn't coming. You have to give yourself permission to do the big, bold move now. Because that opportunity, whatever it is not going to wait around forever. You're being called. Are you willing to say yes even before you're ready? That's the question. And so here's your challenge today. Think of one big thing you've been delaying. That next step, that dream, that investment, that bold move. And now ask yourself, what would it look like for me to say yes to this even before I feel ready? Journal about it, meditate on it, and then take one imperfect step towards it. Just one teeny tiny step. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. You don't have to commit to the whole thing. Just one step. That's how you create miracles. That's how you make these big leaps in your life that everybody around you says, oh my God, she's fearless. No, you're not fearless, just like I'm not fearless. In my book, it's called Curiosity. I'm curious as to what taking that next little step will create in my life. And I want you to be curious too. And if you need help breaking through the mindset that's keeping you stuck, just know that I'm here for you. This is the work that I do every day with the women who choose to work with me in Bold Heart. Let's talk. You are already enough. You are already being called into your next level of greatness. Your only job is to say yes. And I'm cheering you on. Lots of love. If today's episode stirred something within you, if you're realizing that you've been waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready, waiting for all the pieces to fall into place, I want to share this with you. You do not need to wait anymore. There is a way to grow your business with more ease and more support and more freedom without doing it all yourself. And it begins with one bold step. And a beautiful place to start is by reading my book, The Leveraged Business. Have you read it yet? Inside the book, I walk you through the exact steps to scale your business sustainably and reclaim your time and your energy and your joy. And you'll find that I share with you how to create systems and structure and the mindset shifts that have helped thousands of women before you to create a business that supports them, not one that consumes them. And you can get your copy at boldheart.com, also in the show notes. And if you're ready to have a real conversation about what's possible for you with no obligations, and you want to discuss how we can support you every step of the way, I'd love for you to go to boldheart.com also and schedule your free Get Acquainted conversation with us. We want to hear about your situation. We want to hear about your big dreams, what's working, what's not working, and help you map out a plan. And if you're interested in hearing more about what it's like to work with me, to work with my team, we can tell you about that too. No pressure, just a warm, heart-centered, empowering conversation about your dreams and the next brave step towards those dreams. Because your yes is enough. Until next time, sending you so much love.